And I know that an important piece that you keep talking about is you keep turning the dialogue back towards the perspective of the asker, or the person seeking counsel. And I think that's super important. And I think as Men of Hope, we represent a large spectrum of life stages, priorities, things that we're wanting to put money towards, and maybe not, like you were mentioning earlier. But in general, when we as a body of Christ are trying to use our money effectively, can you talk a little bit about like what does that balance look like between wanting to be generous and give and bless people and help those in need, see it as a great utility, and in some ways like a great solution in the very near future, balancing that with some long-term goals or savings goals or things like that. Can you talk to a little bit about the the spender versus saver and what the Bible might have to say?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would be careful to prescribe rules for that in general. Like you should, spend this percent, or you should be saving this percent. Again, there's general rules of, if you save 15% of your income into a retirement account, I mean, that's probably an appropriate amount if you want to retire at kind of a normal retirement age in 60s, looking through, all historical periods that we've gone through. I mean, that would be like a rule of trying to shoot for on a savings level. But that could include, employer contributions as well, especially if they're fully vested right away. So there are some rules like that, but I think it also is, just being prayerful and looking at your own heart. Like one thing I realized, I got married when I was 28, I think, and, worked from the time I was 22 until about that time before I did LDI. So I had 5 years at a pretty good job and good income, and I've never been a spender. I've been more of a saver, and I just, saw that I was able to save a very significant portion of my income. I was, living with other guys, spending $300 a month on rent, and spent, $20 a week at Aldi on my groceries. And so just was able to save a lot, but it, quickly became like, what is the purpose of doing this? And, is there a point where, I'm just saving for the sake of saving, where I could be giving more of this money? And so I actually, put something in place where if I earned above a certain amount, if I saved above, I kind of had a savings cap basically, and anything above that, I was just going to start giving away. And so was able, to do that for a season of time. And that's been more difficult, being married and having kids and starting a business and things like that. But I think, just keeping your heart in check. And I think having accountability with other people too, whether that's a spouse, but I think even outside of a spouse, where it's, kind of a taboo topic to talk about finances, but I think having accountability there can be really valuable too, where just people can understand, where is your heart, and really be challenged by other people to be open about that.